welcome to my channel. Shit, it's finished. Woo! Ha! It's finished, sorry. My year was more like, in terms of, it was more like meatballs, you know, creamed in onion, with caramelized onions, and then dipped in chocolate sauce, and then dipped in goulash, as in that was my 2020. It's a lot of flavors, it's a lot of weird things. We had World War III, we had Corona, we had Trump for the world's greatest country president. What else? I had school online. That was like really bad. I am not a tech person. Yeah, I know. Like when I sit down and you tell me I have to attend my classes online, that was so annoying. And then the story about World War III, what was it? I remember just waking up one morning and going through Instagram, and there were like loads of memes about like, it was close to Valentine's, I remember. And the reason for this World War III, if you don't know, was because everybody wants to let go of the deals they made. You know, you just don't kill our genius, just don't kill our what was the person who invented electricity called? I'm sorry, I'm really nervous because I'm excited to do this video. But yeah, so it was that with the Iranian scientist, and I remember reading this story, and it was quite annoying because you could literally see that what was happening was that the US, or rather Trump in this case, because he's just a nut job, own personal opinion, freedom of speech, he's a nut job. And so the minute I saw World War III, I just, with Trump associated with it, I just couldn't. That was the first top thing after Corona. There's not even having need to say, oh, I don't know, Corona was one of the major newses. It was the only news. It was what I ate, what I slept with, what I slept on. You know, even when you're doing in the toilet, you're just thinking, shit, is my stomach aching so bad because I have Corona? Like seriously, that is literally how bad Corona was. So Corona doesn't even get its own list. It just is like 2020 will always be associated with COVID-19 and all the scandals. And the worst part of it for Corona for me was like how people like were just hating on each other. Like, why are you hating people who are also suffering from the same disease as you? Are you crazy? As in, how is it that a disease will start out in China and then you just start hating on a China person living nowhere close to China? I felt really bad. And I had an own personal experience with a friend of mine, a very good friend. And I was like, she told me about an experience here in Denmark where kids were yelling at her and her boyfriend for wearing masks during Corona, you know, like before it became legal and stuff like that, and, you know, calling them names. And I got so pissed off. Because why would these kids be calling out things unless their parents were actually talking to them? 2020 as in. So I hated Corona for those few reasons, because it was just like, it separated people, it killed people. So back to Corona. Corona had this way of like, I remember finding out about Corona, my boyfriend told me about it, I woke up to it and I was like, oh yeah, there's this new flu. 2 weeks later I'm having, and I'm a paranoid person. The minute I start feeling like my head hurts, I just feel like I start from the worst. You know, I'm like my own Google. I don't have to Google. And so Corona was like really, really weird experience, because I think we've lived through a few pandemics or epidemics, but I have, well, at least considering that I come from Africa and Ebola just happened when we were alive. I remember polio as a kid. I don't know if I could call that an epidemic or a pandemic, but I remember polio was there, and that's why I am all for vaccination. Vaccination. vaccinations are here. I've been talking about to people about whether they're gonna get it now that 2021 is here. What's the worst that could happen? It couldn't get worse. It could only get better. And the vaccinations are here, and I'm mad psyched about it. There are like 3 of them now that I know about. I know about the Pfizer one, of course, which is like really popular, and I know that's the one that is in Denmark right now. And I know there is another one in the UK. I suppose that's not Pfizer, it's something else. Pfizer is like very high percentage, and I know there is so many people who are anti-vaccinators, and genuinely I don't get it. I have tried to reason, to think, but I just can't. It's quite mind-boggling. And I'm all about perspectives. I'm all about agree to disagree kind of person, you know? And I'm just like, yeah, I get your point of view. I must admit that I have also concerns. You think me? I'm sorry, I'm not. I can't. I know this is gonna sound bad, but I don't have it in me to test myself with something in the like before it's proven. And so I see where vaccinators is coming from. Oh, it's been a year, some of them have even lasted for a short period, so what are you talking about? What are you talking like we need to get vaccinated? But babe, come on, as in, we know the process of making vaccines and why they take longer. If you don't, ask the scientists, ask the researchers, because the reason why the process for vaccination takes longer, the development of a vaccine involves a lot of processes, and one of them involves research. And that, depending on what disease you're talking about, then the research might take years or, shorter period, because, you're trying to understand the disease. So research might take long, but once the research is there, the other thing that makes something like Corona was a new disease. Nobody has dealt with it. But maybe did you think that the research took shorter time because all the vaccinators around the world were actually focused on this huge pandemic that nobody knows if it would wipe out the whole human race? It was like an endgame scenario here, Avengers assemble, doctors assemble. Bring your armor, bring your juju from Western Africa, go bring your, whatever, just let this thing go. Nobody wants the world to be erased right now. So, yeah, they were all of the scientists. So, there was a lot of research being done at once. There was a lot of different strains being discovered at the same time. And so, of course, enough research has been done. We were the test subject. We were readily available, as a matter of fact. I know. It's just because you haven't gotten Corona. I guess because it's the devil, the unseen devil. It's kind of like, what do you call it? It's the devil that you can see. And for that, seeing is believing. Some doubting Thomases out here, I'm telling you. If they don't see it, they don't believe it. And I think that's what is happening with most people, because you're like, it's a flu, and I've had it. I've had conversations with my family members, with my friends. We're just like, oh yeah, it's a flu, it's a flu-like symptom, blah 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 blah. I have had friends who've gotten Corona, and I have seen they feel bad, they feel sick, even if it's in a lighter way, they feel sick, and you actually get scared about it. And so the test subjects were there, people were readily volunteering themselves to get tested, and try to get studied and all these things that subjects go and apply for, and they do. So that was already done. Don't panic about that. That was already done. Millions, as in millions of people have gotten tested since this thing started. Issue number two is finances. And, number three, the reason why vaccinations take longer, finances. If people don't have a finance, then of course the project is gonna take longer. Duh. But let me ask you, do you think researchers were broke? As a matter of fact, I wish I was a researcher at this point, because I feel like opportunity passed once, and it has passed me. I didn't make money. People made money during this Corona. I don't know what I was doing. I was home pretending there to watch TV. Wait, now I'm in school though, so it's not like I let go of my entire life or something like that. But yeah, if I told you right now, it's a matter of thinking about it like this, that you can be an anti-vacciner, freedom of speech, Yes. But think about your neighbor, thinking about people around you. That being said, I'm still waiting for 1 year. I'm still waiting for 1 year before I take that vaccine. As in, I am so happy. I'm so happy I'm among the young generation so that I can get to, take the vaccine later, because it's not that I'm worried about whether it's good or not. I'm just like, I haven't seen the long-term effects. Anti-vaccinators don't say I'm an anti-vaccinator. I just said I don't know the long-term effects. And for me, 1 year is enough to know, after everybody around the world, a few people have gotten it. And by the time it gets to me, come on, concerns would have been raised and solved. And I don't think there's any society that is out there to destroy us. Too much talk about the vaccine. I'm out of this corona conversation. Corona, I'm not carrying you with me to 2021. I'm done, bitch. I'm done. Corona, we finished. We're out of that topic. What else just me? People are woke. People are awake. I'm telling you, we'll be out here running, jogging, calling. People are awake. People are starting to listen. People are starting to know what's right for them. People are starting to learn their rights. Women are starting to speak out. Black people, colored people are starting to speak out. And governments better be listening, because my prediction of 2021 is that fire, that momentum that we built in 2020, that protesting momentum, it's gonna kick off. It's gonna kick off in 2021, because I feel like the world sometimes has a way of going quiet on issues, and every decade, I remember myself thinking that it happens every decade, every decade or every end of a millennium, every end of like a huge thing, like 20 zeros, numbers with zeros, I would figure, and crazy shit just seemed to happen. Call it the world balancing itself out, call people going ridiculously crazy about the world ending, I don't know, but shit does usually happen. 2010, the same scenario, and now 2020 woke us up with, there was so many crises around the world, and I think that finally people got to see what actually happens in those places that you think are lands of milk and honey. People finally saw that. People are like, America is not all that great. It's not all that great at all, and all lives matter. It doesn't matter whether you're black, you're white, you're short, you're ugly. Nobody's ugly. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And as you can see, this beholder thinks everything is beautiful, because everything and everyone is beautiful. And so I feel good because finally voices were heard. Black Lives Matter, and the crisis in Lebanon, I'm so sorry, the Lebanon crisis, it has been going on for years and years and years. And now last year, it's already 2021. Last year, 2020, last year anyway, Lebanon came out and they were protesting against their government, and they demonstrated. And by the time Corona hit, Lebanon had no money to deal with Corona, because their country had just been dealing with protests over a long period of time. The same issue went with SARS at the end of the year, with the government of Nigeria and killing people. People were massacred. People saw what was happening, and the ridiculous thing with with media and government, and how they use media to corrupt and drive propaganda around, is that they will come out and tell us, oh yeah, we have cameras, we have our own CCTV cameras that show this thing's never happened. But you're lying. You're lying. As a matter of fact, you're the worst liar. As even the devil calls you liar. I followed up the story and I've made my own judgment and conclusion for it. And the conclusion is everybody who took part in it, the military, the people who commanded it, you should all be ashamed of yourself, and you should definitely get punished for it, because you took lives. Around 8 people that I know of, I stand to be corrected, that was shot. And I'm just like, I saw a video of someone removing a bullet from somebody else. How the fuck do you tell me that that's even normal? Sorry, forgive my French, but I was really touched by what was happening in Nigeria. But closer to home, my people, my country people, Kenyan people, our voice has been crying out so much, and shit has just been happening in 2020. You know, I've just been peemering the temperature, trying to figure out, what's happening here? BBI? I'm in the middle of reading BBI, and that shit is bogus. That shit is bogus. There's nothing there about the common Mwananchi, the common people. There's nothing at all. It's just more and more to the people, to a small group of number of people who don't deserve anything, who haven't done anything for the country at all. And I'm just like, why are people supporting this BBI? Like, what is up with that? As in, why won't you sit down and read? The art of not reading, the not knowing how to read. The powerful people hold power through text. Powerful people, every single powerful person you know, they hold the power of the text. Textualized power, every government. Because you know what? If you can't read your own constitution, you'll get fucked up majorly. That's just my point. And right now, my country people, we're being fucked up. We're being fucked up, really. So I'm just like, BBI came out, I had a lot about it. If you haven't read the document, I would highly suggest you go read it before you speak out. Because for me, BBI is bullshit. Bullshit. There's nothing there that I would say talks about something that would help me as a Kenyan, as a person. So yeah, people are really woke. I'm more woke. I'm more passionate about my voice being heard, and that's why I started this. Like, you know, my channel. Did I even say hi? So yeah, that's why I started this channel, and I'm just hoping that 2021 will have people more woke, more whatever. But you know what? The good thing is, this year is done. It's done. Last year, 2021 has just started. What am I talking about? But this year, this horrible, this year that will forever be imprinted in our minds, because it just had to, as in, you know. And I pray that the world could see all these things that were highlighted by Corona. The poverty, the world imbalance, the hypocrisy, the terrible things the fellow human beings have to go through every fucking single day. Forgive my French again. Anyway, it's finished. It's a wrap. And with that, I think I'm also gonna wrap up, because this video can't go longer. We can't do long videos. I disagree. So I want to wish you a happy new year. 2020. Just imagine whatever you want to imagine when I'm doing this with 2020. It's finished. It's done. I feel new energy. I feel mad psych. I feel ooh. This is just how I'm going 2020, you know? 2020 is gone. 2020. Come on 2021. Come on 2021.